Hey, what's up guys, it's Yeti here. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about what, in my opinion, are the best add-ons to make your World of Warcraft raiding or Mythic Plus just end game experience better. I don't think these add-ons are mandatory. Technically speaking, you can, go into everything blind with just default Blizzard UI. And, this is not the topic of this video, is to discuss that. It's just what, in my opinion, you should have if you're trying to get, end game done, if you're trying to do higher keys, and if you're potentially pushing for cutting edge content. All right, so the first add-on I actually wanted to talk about today was BigWigs and Little Wigs. So there is an alternative to this one. It's called Deadly Boss Mods. You might have that one downloaded, and if you like it, that's perfect. I think it's just a little bit too loud, and I think this one is a little bit easier to customize. So the idea behind BigWigs or Deadly Boss Mods is that they're essentially boss cooldown timers, and they will show these bars of some sort on your screen, which are going to slowly count down the seconds until the boss's ability will go off. This is important because as a player, it's really nice to know when a certain mechanic is coming up, so you can, time your defensives properly, so you know when you might have to move, so you're not like hard casting a spell. You know when your raid cooldown should be used, or when, bosses may be taking extra damage. Now, there's not, a crazy amount of settings that are mandatory with this add-on. I would just recommend you to put the bars somewhere where you can easily track them. I like to use the left side above my health bar here for the bars. But again, this can be pure preference. This add-on will also add the big messages in the middle of your screen, and on top of your screen, just giving you the big boss alerts. Yeah, this add-on is something you should definitely have. Do keep in mind, if you're going with BigWigs, there's also a pack called Little Wigs that gives you the timers for the dungeons. So if you're doing dungeons and timers are not working, you're probably missing the Little Wigs add-on. Now, the second add-on that I use in my raid experience for endgame are WeakAuras for either the dungeons in that season or for the raid altogether. So what these WeakAuras do is they're essentially an upgrade on your timers that I previously talked about, right? So for example, it's going to start glowing on the side of your screen and say that you're targeted by some ability and you should move. It's going to tell you there's a beam, there's a frontal. It's just going to tell you more about what's going on. And it's just additional information that, is provided to you via images on the screen. Again, I like to have my WeakAuras on the right side of the screen. I make them a little bit smaller when they're out of the box. I will make sure to link both the dungeon pack and the raid pack, right? So it's really cool how universally done these are. They've been made for the last, I don't know how many expansions, and they're just really handy, and they will give you more information in the raid. You can also make these add-ons speak to you via shared media. I've not done that. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it, but if you like your add-ons, specifically telling you soak, for example, when there's a soaking mechanic, you can look into the WAGO page that I will link in the description and check out how to enable the sound options via shared media add-on. The next add-on is once again a WeakAura that I want to talk about here today, and it is the Thundering WeakAura for the seasonal affix this season. The first couple of days I was just doing it blind. I was just trying to look at the little symbol above my teammates' heads. That made it really freaking awkward and really hard. What this WeakAura will do is it's gonna make your character say either blue square or red X, so which is the positive, which is the negative. And it's also going to count down until the next thundering, and also it's going to give you a circle in the middle of your screen telling you whether it's time to clear your stack or if you're safe, and the other two pairs in your party have already cleared it. So yeah, this is a wonderful add-on if you're doing Mythic Plus, which you probably are for the Vault. I would really recommend you to look into this one of the best seasonal add-ons right now. So the next add-on on the list is actually Method Raid Tools. This used to be called Exorcist Raid Tools. If you're an old school WoW player and you might have lost that add-on, it's just got renamed not so long ago. So what this add-on does, it has many important features which are used in endgame raiding. So the first one, and probably the more obvious one, is all these bars here on the left side of the screen. Now, this is the way I have it configured. Yours can look different. It can have icons, different colored bars, etc. This takes the raid cooldowns and shows them in a list here together. So when, for example, I'm a healer, I know when my druid propped Transcendence, and I can Tranquility rather, and I can see when it's used, so I'm not, you know, spamming my own throughput during that time. I'm not wasting my my healing per second. Or, you know, if there's another Holy Paladin, if he's popping Aura Mastery, I know it's, you know, it's been used. I do not pop mine at that time. Or, for example, his is on cooldown, I can step in for him and use it. This is also very useful for raid leading. And the second feature of Method raid tools is the note feature. Probably the more used feature, the more obvious feature. So whenever you get to a boss, your raid leader can prepare, or if you're the raid leader, you can prepare notes for your players. Notes can have different uses, whether it's raid cooldown timers, whether it's teams. For example, on Broodkeeper, we have the boss team and the ad team, and we also have the ebb breakers. If you're doing Dathria, for example, you can have different platforms, you know, with different players set up. It's just gonna help you with so many things to have written down on your notes for the players to be aware of that mid-raid. They can just check it, you know. Also, you're making those micro fixes, you know, sometimes you're moving an extra DPS to a certain platform, etc. And it's just always good to have all of that written down and on each of the players' screens. Method raid tools can also run a WeakAura check. You can run a check essentially that makes sure all of your raiders are using the same WeakAura for, you know, because you will get to mythic bosses where you will be like, oh, I want to run a certain WeakAura that will be configured through method raid tools, and I want everyone to have the same one, because if all 20 players don't have it, then it's not going to work properly. And you can also do a WeakAura check through method raid tools. So this is probably, like, I would say maybe the most important raiding add-on besides probably BigWigs. The next add-on on this list is going to be Details Damage Meter. So this add-on is primarily used to have this little bar here in the corner of my screen, which is going to show you the healing done, damage done. You can also swap show deaths if you want on your meter, count interrupts, etc. But that's not the only, you know, real reason behind this add-on. The way I like to explain it is that this add-on is constantly logging the combat and collecting everything that's happening damage-wise in your add-on here. So you can click on your name, for example, after a certain key, and you're trying to, let's say, analyze a talent or a trinket or some specific spell, and you can easily see how many times you've casted it, how much it healed on average, you know, how much percentage of your healing it did. This is very useful for Holy Paladins, right? So if you're comparing Beacon of Light with Beacon of Virtue, for example, you do the fight, you know, twice, or you do the same pull twice, and you just look at the percentage. You look how many casts you're getting off. You see your trinket here is doing 6.4% of healing. That is absolutely insane, for example, right? And these are just going to be multiple ways of using this add-on's information to your advantage to, you know, to observe your class and your combat, you know, also looking at how much leech you have, how much healing it's doing. I would really recommend you to look through your details meter, look through your own logs to understand your combat efficiency better, basically. Now, to end this video, I wanted to just give you some tips when it comes to maintaining your add-ons. You want to make sure your add-ons and your WeakAuras are always up to date, because that way you can keep them relevant to the content. So the way I update my add-ons is via a program called CurseForge. So you might have heard of this one. It's probably the most popular program that WoW players use out there. I do use the standalone version, which you can get from the website, which does not install Overwolf. So this program is going to keep the collection of your add-ons right here. And every time you turn on your computer, you can simply do this button right here, which is going to refresh all your add-ons. And as soon as something is going to be out of date, you're going to press update all, go back into your game and reload your game /reload. You can also restart your game, but you kind of don't have to anymore. Now, the second way to maintain your add-ons, or rather WeakAuras, is with a program called WeakAura's Companion. So what this one does is it takes all the small individual WeakAuras you have installed. You can, do this little fetch updates button right here on the top, which is going to prepare your WeakAuras to be updated. You're going to have to reload the game once again. I've already done that though. And now I can show you how to update the add-ons individually. So we go into the, WeakAuras menu right here. And as you see, I have an update ready for the Thundering Affix. Gonna click on this button. I'm gonna make sure it's on update aura, not create a copy. I'm gonna do everything except the custom configuration, which for me is, I believe, where I moved the WeakAura. and we're gonna press the update button, and it's gonna go over like that, and bam, it's updated. Easy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something new, and I hope you guys will use these add-ons in your advantage. If not, you can always come to my Discord to ask me questions. It's linked in the description. Also, I do stream on twitch.tv/Yeti, where I'm currently doing almost exclusively World of Warcraft healer content. Thank you for your time, and I will see you next time.